Oi oi my drillers, it's your geezer Big Toddy Cow here for a brand new video, and today we're gonna go over our defensive usage in World of Warcraft. I'm gonna teach you to really optimize your defensives and never miss another defensive again. That's right. I will just give a disclaimer though. Please do bear in mind that this method, yeah, it is gonna be canned with the deletion of add-ons in the next expansion. But whenever I do find an alternative, I'll keep you guys posted. But for now, it's still a really good tool we can use while we still have it. Best to make the most of it. So yeah, let's dive right in. I really hope that the advice I give in this information is gonna help you guys with your prog, and yeah, this is mainly for raiding. I don't know if this can be translated to Mythic Plus or any other content, but like my sole focus here is basically we're gonna be using a combination of MRT note and weak auras. Well, a singular weak aura, so don't get too panicked. It's not that much. We're gonna be using a combination of a weak aura and our MRT note, our personal MRT note, so it won't interfere with anything else, to basically just remind us in the middle of a fight when we need to use defensive. That way, you're not gonna forget. You're not gonna have to remember. Oh, I need to use my Dark Pact on the first Plexus Soak and the third Plexus Soak to be optimal. Like no, it will say it on screen, give you a little bit of a timer so you can be ready, get some casts off, and then weave it in quite nicely. So, without further ado, let us get into it. So, what are we going to be using? First off, the weak aura we need. Let's get this out the way. K's MRT timers. This is also something you need for, like, group, well, you'd want for group assignments, unless you want to try and remember it off the top of your head. But this is the weak aura, which is going to take your MRT notes and tell you, hey, you've got a cooldown to pop soon. Defensive cooldown to pop. Pop it now. Gives you like 8-second timer, I think it is. And it will also like shout at you like, oh, Hellwrecker, Darkness, Hellwrecker, Blur. So, yeah. Very, very easy. Very solid notification. Very, very neat tool. I'm realizing now after my campaign against add-ons for so long how hypocritical this entire video is against me as an individual. But hey, as I'm progressing further and further, like these are the ways I've realized I've got to improve while it still exists. I can't wait for these add-ons to be gone. Anyway, so let's go over to. I'm using method raid tools. I don't know if it's if it works with other raid tools, but we're gonna type in /MRT, bring this up. I'm gonna hit the note tab, and we're gonna come down here, and we're gonna not do the note. This is a group note. If you put your personal cooldowns in here, your raid team are gonna start yelling things at you. Yeah, so don't do it there. Gonna do it here. Now, what is this? So. Right now, this currently looks like some absolute nonsense, but this is off the top of my head. That's a blur here, a blur here, a blur here, a darkness here, a blur here, blur here. If I remember correctly, this is a blur for Spirit Bomb on the move. This is a static Spirit Bomb. There's another Spirit Bomb on the move. This one is for the first hunt after the first intermission. This is another blur during second intermission, and this is just a latest a blur during Spirit Bomb, I believe. And this is for Soul Hunters. That's my note for Soul Hunters. Been putting it off times, but I've kind of got this memorized. But I know what you're thinking. How did I get to this note? What was the process? So we're gonna go back to a trusty website. If you guys remember one of my more recent videos, I went in to talk to you guys about logs. So we can actually take the information here from logs and decide what we want to well, yeah, we can take some of the top players and, you know, we can decide what defenses we want to look at. So for me, my darkness isn't, well, of course, I don't want to look at offensives. So let's first take these off. Next, I want to look at my defensives. Now, health pots and health stones, I like to leave that to my own judgment in the middle of a fight. That is usually something I use if I mess up. But I want to look at both my blur and my darkness. I want to look at my darkness because in my team, my darkness isn't assigned to anything. So I want to see where other people use it and just throw it down there. So this is pretty easy to copy. Quite simply, you just go to one you like. So I'm looking at rank 6 here. Yeah, I know you can already see rank 6. I'm looking at rank 6 here. He's got a couple blurs and a darkness, which is way better than the higher ranks. You kind of want to prefer the timelines that have more defensive used rather than less. That I might go for rank 7 here just because I kind of want to prove a point, and I think that's also the one I'm already using. But yeah, what we're gonna do here, we're gonna come hover over the rank, got this little copy icon, boom, gonna copy that, can just ignore all this, click on that, boom, automatically copied, close that down, gonna clear off this note. I'm not worried about clearing off this note because, you know I can put it back in, and boom. So now we've got the times and the spells. But this isn't going to work. Why is this not going to work, you ask? Simply because you need to put your name in there. Now, there's a quick way to put your name in there properly. That is, you just click it up here. Don't bother typing it out. Wait, let me... No, there's a nice little space. There we go, That's nicer from a formatting. So yeah, I'm just going to go in this gap, and I'm just going to click my name on all of these cooldowns so that the recoil will register. Yep, Hellwrecker's got to press this. Boom. You know, there's something here you might notice. As you're more comfortable with your defensives, of course, knowing your cooldowns. There's over a 2-minute gap between the usage of my first blur and my second blur. Now, knowing the fight of Soul Hunters, I know there's also another Spirit Bomb in between. If I bring up the logs, and look, we're looking at rank 7. So he's blurring before the first Spirit Bomb. But look, there's another Spirit Bomb here where I could definitely get another blur in. Now that Spirit Bomb is at 1 minute 43 seconds. My next blur is at 2 minutes 42 seconds. Now, of course, blur lasts a decent bit of time. 10 seconds. That Spirit Bomb, I cannot press my blur any later than 1 minute 42. And I'd rather not press it that late, so I can make sure I definitely have my blur up for the next combo where it's a Spirit Bomb into a hunt. So, what am I going to do here? I'm going to subtract a couple of seconds and maybe do it at 1 minute 40. So what we can do is we can just copy this line, drop down, paste it, and we're gonna go for 140. Oh, yep, bosh. Yep, we go for 140, and boom. It is just that easy to add in more cooldowns, and yeah, you can do this for any spec, any cooldown you have. You just need to know the spell ID. If you don't know how to find spell IDs, then here's the thing. Let's quickly, for example's sake, blur spell wow. Bosh. Wowhead link. See, this is something that Wowhead's good for. I'll give Wowhead some credit here, you know. And then, boom, as you can see up here, 198589. Spell ID is at the top here. You see wowhead.com/spell equals, then it has the spell ID. So you can go ahead and copy that in, and then boom, come here. It's exactly the same. Type it in, lovely jubbly. can do that for literally any cast you do in the game. And yeah. So that's how you set it all up. Now there's one more thing I want to show you guys. Which is, you know, of course, what if I need a note for every boss? What if I do? How do I remember all this? Now, personally, I have my own Discord server, with just me in it, where I put information in like that. I would show it to you, however, I'd rather not get banned, because you really expect me to put appropriate things in there? Do you really expect that? Do you really expect that? No. Of course, everything I put in there, is very much a meme, and by all means should never see the light of day. Sorry, I'm British. I need my tea. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm British and proud, you know. But yeah. So simply put, I just put everything in, like, I've got one big message, and I use headings, like with Discord Markdown. You can put a hashtag, space, and then the name, and then you get a nice little heading. Then you can just paste your note in there. As you can see, it's got a weird code for Hellwrecker. Basically, as I hold down Control when I'm going to copy, this is the code that you see, so that it can automatically just throw my name back in there. And so yeah, pretty much it's just that simple, where I can copy everything. You know, I don't always have, like, say, darkness assigned. Most of the time it is just my blurs on the DH. Like my never walk as well. I don't always assign that. Say on Soul Hunters, I want to be saving that to immune one of the hunts, if I get it on me. And my darkness, you know, I usually leave that to my team to decide when they want me to pop it. But my team doesn't always assign it to me, so when they don't, then it's kind of just free range. I'll go on logs, I'll see when a lot of people are opting to use darkness, and yeah, I'll go from there. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of how you can use some add-ons to make sure you always pop your defensives, you never miss any timings again, and you're gonna be pretty high on that damage mitigated list. You're gonna be surviving way more in raids, and you're just gonna bolster your progress. Don't underestimate the value of defensives. It can massively skyrocket you from being just a mid player to a good player, a very solid player. Staying alive is BIS, and defensives are keys for that. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Share this to some of your friends who you think may need some help in pressing their defensives. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, morning, depending on whenever the hell you are watching this. See ya!